Hello everyone, my name is Ark and welcome back to another news action figure update video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what seems to be the greatest third-party figure of all time, the Kami 1 TonserArt Toys Gogeta figures. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be very biased during this video, so you've been warned. Gogeta is one of, if not my favorite characters in all of Dragon Ball. Not only because he's dope, he's the fusion of both Goku and Vegeta, and he just looks much cooler than Vegito. Fight me, I don't care. He already has the fit, look at him. So, right here, I'm in the SH Figuarts subreddit. But I'm not going to be alone in this one, mostly because it's going to be also the third-party collector subreddit, because there are technically two now, where a bunch of the SH Figuarts dudes that post third-party figures, they were getting tired of seeing just third-party figures instead of actual official ones, and they made a whole new subreddit. So there's going to be pretty much a bunch of the same comments, but I wanted to get a little bit of info, or sort of seeing what everyone thought from both sides. So yeah, now I did want to start out with the DVZ Gogeta. All of these images are provided by Fearful Divine, so thank you very much for posting these. Although there are some differences from the original renders of this Gogeta. But I will say, this guy looks fantastic. Now, it does seem that it kind of has been confirmed that the Kami 1 Gogeta, or TonserArt Toys Gogeta, does have the shoulder pads attached somewhere to the actual vest. We don't necessarily know how they are until we actually get in-hands pictures of them. But these are more so promotional pictures, which realistically, he already looks fantastic. This looks alright. Arms crossed is always going to be a hard thing for pretty much any figure company to achieve, so it's not going to be the most make or break thing, in my opinion. But the waist belt and everything already looks fantastic. I will say, let me actually pull up Super Gogeta, so we can actually have a reference and see how good he looks compared to the figure himself. So can I not get anything that is not... Actually, you know what? I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to use the Dragon Ball Legends render, because it's almost like... Oh, wait, no, wait. Right here. Here is the Gogeta. There's Gogeta. Super Gogeta, to be exact. While this loads, I will say this guy looks fantastic, and just kind of looking at them side by side, he does look slightly different. He does have fluffier hair here in the figure, which is not the biggest ordeal. But at the same time, it's like, it's not fully accurate. It does look like Gogeta, but it also does look like Super Gogeta. Well, not Super Gogeta, Dragon Ball Super Gogeta. In terms of the actual hairstyle, especially if we take a look at the Super Saiyan Blue, it's the same exact head sculpt, nothing changed too much. Although, there was a picture here that does showcase the actual head sculpt for Super Gogeta. So it is going to be included in this Kami 1 Gogeta, where it has the Super Saiyan head sculpt, and also the base head sculpt for Gogeta, and a windswept Super Saiyan Gogeta head sculpt. Not Super Gogeta, Super Saiyan. And this one does look a lot more accurate to what Super Gogeta looks here in the movie, which is awesome. And he does have that smiling face, which, perfection right there. So yeah, they do come out on the 28th. They were supposed to be, actually, their release is actually on the 25th, but they're going to be starting to ship out on the 28th. It is unfortunate that they are releasing at this time in an hour, because of the current state of tariffs and everything. But I will be making a video later on that, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's not going to be a super long video. I will have actual sources and everything, so please do bear with me while I'm getting that prepared. But this guy does look fantastic. These pictures are just magnificent. Whoever took these pictures, bravo, you actually did a good job. like actually taking pictures. And beforehand, there was actual discussion into like the discoloration of the chest, comparing it to how the actual quality of the plastic they were using, and then the paint of the plastic compared to pretty much everything else. You can definitely see that there is still some discoloration. There's no shading whatsoever on the actual chest, but this is still the promotional picture. Although there are literally 9 days left until these figures ship out everywhere. But he does look fantastic in my opinion, and the base head sculpt is definitely the cherry on top as well. Although I will say that the Maniacal Fit also did a really good job with their Gogeta. I should be getting mine very soon. And then there should be an extra one that should be coming in later, but very excited about this one. And then the Super Saiyan Blue is no different. This one looks exactly like he did in the actual movie for Dragon Ball Super Broly, so it is just the most beautiful figure with the Ki Blast effect that he has, the windswept hair. Oh, it just looks fantastic. This looks great. This looks fantastic. I love it. I am going to be ecstatic when I actually get this figure. Now, some people are wondering, like, what's the deal with, like, the pictures and the quality? Sometimes it seems like they're running it through, like, Photoshop and changing some of the lighting, which might seem a little bit of an issue, but hopefully it's not that big of a deal. And then, of course, this one does come with, so it does seem that they changed, so this is like a little bit of a later updated figure. It does come with a Super Saiyan Blue Super Gogeta head sculpt from the looks of it. And it does come with 2 different vests. It does come with an insane amount of accessories for the price point. These figures, each of these figures are $55 right now. And honestly, you're never going to get anything lower than that. Like, for the amount that you're getting for these figures, it's insane. So you can see this windswept vest and everything. It looks fantastic. And I'm pretty sure it is going to come with hands that actually grab the vest as well. So like for this vest, I'm pretty sure. But no, these head sculpts are fantastic. And then we do have videos on the articulation. So they're pretty much the exact same figure, but I did want to showcase both of these videos. And I kind of want to talk about it for just a little bit. It does seem that it does have amazing articulation in both the torso. And it does seem that the actual belt right here is soft plastic. Same with the crotch piece, which allows you to actually get insane motion for the actual legs. It does have a forearm swivel and, of course, a wrist hinge from the looks of it. Oh, I see it right here. So this is how it's going to look. So to make it more seamless and everything, you could theoretically take off his vest, but his 2 little pieces right here, his butterfly joints, are going to be pure black. Makes sense. That way they actually are able to not have to cut out the actual vest itself, and you can just move the figure more freely. So definitely interested or curious as to how it's going to work when we actually get them in hand. Beautiful splits, literally just flat splits all throughout. Kicking up, fantastic. So, and it does have a calf peg to actually move it, very similar to the Daima Goku and also the Super Saiyan Goku that's coming out later this year. The leg can go all the way back. Fantastic. Very, very good job, TonserArt Toys. Very great stuff. And then here's a Super Gogeta with the actual head sculpt on top. Great movement for the neck. You can actually move the arm itself, and it does seem. So this is what. Okay, so it does seem that the actual orange little piece, or the shoulder pads, are attached to the shoulders themselves instead of what I originally thought they were gonna do. At first, I thought they were gonna go kind of like the Marvel Legends route, but they have kind of like the ring inside of the actual peg, and then it just connects to the shoulder pad, but that does not seem to be the case, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but it is definitely something that they could have probably done, maybe, who knows, but it does seem to be connected to the actual shoulder, which will move simultaneously with the arm. No big deal. Nothing really new here showcased and everything. But I did want to talk about what people were thinking in terms of how it looked and everything. So let's take a look at the subreddit for the SH Figure Arts one first. There's only 14 comments, and there's only this is a whole different page. And there's 18 comments on the Super Gogeta one, and then there's 14 comments on the Super Gogeta in the third-party collectors, and 12 comments here. So I'm gonna try to go through them quickly. People are very excited for this figure. They're asking where you can buy it. So you can actually buy it from Omnime Hobby Model Store, which is where I got mine. They actually are very quick at shipping out things, and it should arrive to your location, depending on where you're living, within like 2 weeks. So they're very quickly in terms of shipping, and their shipping is free for the most part. And of course, AliExpress, but you would have to be careful as to where you ordered it from in AliExpress themselves. Man, why did they have to show him with the Super Saiyan hair? Now I feel like I need both versions, the face sculpt and the paint, and this guy seems like a massive improvement from the Tonson Trunks. That is another thing. A lot of people have mentioned, especially since the last time I made the Demoniacal Fit Trunks. A lot of people were talking about the TonserArt Toys Trunks, and I'm gonna be frank with you guys. I do not like the way that the TonserArt Toys Trunks looks like. He does look great, don't get me wrong, but he just seems a little bit too pale to me, especially in like in-hand pictures. It just doesn't look right to me. So that's why I never grabbed them. And he definitely got more expensive as time went on. He was like around $80, which was kind of insane. But yeah. People are saying that the forearm looks terrible. I disagree completely. Wait. Well, actually, in terms of the forearm, let's just see if we can get a picture of it. Okay, so I can understand where they're coming from in terms of the actual joint. It does look odd, and it will definitely take some time to actually get used to it. But this will allow you to get a lot more range. You're going to be able to connect this whole arm fully to the bicep, and it's going to allow the bicep to actually go into the arm a little bit more, which is how arms are supposed to work. You can already see it here. Like, look at the amount of range that you have here. Beautiful. So when posed, it's definitely going to look natural. Static, it's definitely going to look odd, but it's not the biggest deal in my opinion. I think that's just like a minor nitpick. Very much Revoltech for sure. That yellow isn't light enough. Bummer. Yes, I will agree. For the Super Saiyan head sculpt for the Super Gogeta, I do think it should be slightly lighter, because looking at it here, it is more golden light, but when he actually goes out of the Super Gogeta, you can even see the highlights are definitely more like bleach yellow color, which again depends on how you want to look at it. The white on Gogeta's blue hair, the picture doesn't have that, so did they use an older version for that picture? So they seem to actually have used an older picture for this version here. They probably didn't update it because it didn't seem like something that they needed to update. But yeah. Now, well, this was a funny one. Nice and cool, but I already own the SH Figure Arts, so I'm not buying one personally. I completely understand, but the SH Figure Arts is good, but it's not as good as this, of course. Now, for the DVC Gogeta, people are very excited for this one. Never order third party, definitely should in some instances. Same guy right here, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same guy. It is, yeah. I'm surprised I actually really enjoyed the black hair version. It looks sick. God damn, this is beautiful. Everything about this Gogeta is better, but the faces, they just don't look like anything. That is an interesting complaint. I actually disagree. I actually do think that the faces do look like Gogeta. Like, just in general. Especially if we take a look at DBS Gogeta right here. If my stupid Wi-Fi decides to load, it'll be great. But I do think that he definitely does look more like DBS Gogeta than anything else. But he still looks fine. God, that ugly-ass render from Fighters. This is the ugliest Gogeta has ever looked. I'm sorry, this is the ugliest. In an official render, disgusting. Never liked it. Looked terrible at first, and it Still looks terrible. You know the best render ever made for Gogeta? Dokkan. Dokkan did a really good Gogeta Blue pose right here. This pose, Dokkan definitely took the cake there. I'm so excited. Put my order in a while ago. Yeah, we Gogeta fans are eating good. Let's see over here. Only nitpicks is the fangs on the abs. Oh, yeah, that is another thing that I saw. These little fangs, like these little like corner fangs on the abs, that's what they did with the Super Saiyan Goku. And a lot of people did complain about that, but it's still fine. Yeah, this is another one. The arms cross could use work. Definitely something that I also pointed out. It doesn't blow the demoniacal fit out of the water. I would have to say to wait and see, because demoniacal fit has been really good lately, but at the same time they've been kind of lazy about some things. But I'm very excited to check their Gogeta out. Yeah, Hobby Model Store. Guys, use Hobby Model Store. They're great at everything. They use PayPal and everything. They have protection and everything like that. I'm no sponsor by them, but they are, I think, like UK based or Europe based. So they do ship out things very quickly, though. Once they actually get them, they like have them shipped out by the next day. So expect these figures to like ship out on the 26th or something from Hobby Model Store. Never been more glad I skipped out on the DF one. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that is something I even put an upvote here because I actually agree with this. The gaps on the knees are insanely huge. And I'm like, they could have filled this out a little bit more for sure and made it smoother. And they could have made these gaps just much less noticeable. They are insanely huge gaps. Like even here, like that is an insane gap. And I still am not the biggest fan of like the cupped, like L-shape type of cut for the pants, but it works. So I'm not gonna like diss it too much. They definitely could have made it a little bit better without like having it to put all the way up there. But there are some things that you can definitely nitpick out of these figures. But it does seem to be like the best Gogeta that has ever been made. So I have no issue with that whatsoever. Let's see. I'm really digging the blue hair. I know people want the darker for accuracy. Another thing, yes, this blue hair is definitely more akin to like I would say to the Tournament of Power blue instead of the actual Gogeta blue. But it does, like in some of the renders for Gogeta, he does have like the 3 different shades of blue. So it makes sense that sometimes they might have actually picked the incorrect one. Like this blue looks the same as the lighter blue here, but he does have more of a darker tone in the actual movie. Although it is, again, just shading and everything else. So it really depends. But yeah, no, I'm very happy about how this one is turning out. Very excited. Man, it really goes to show how many different looks for Gogeta there are in just a couple of frames. Like this here looks exactly like the TonserArt toys for the most part. But I'm happy with what we've got. Oh yeah, this person pointed out with the coloring, light blue hair aside, why do the pants have a weird yellowish tint? So yeah, it seems to be that there is like some pictures are going around where some people are just putting like a filter over it, which I don't understand why, but it people like to just do that too. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, it doesn't have the greenish yellow tint. This is more grayish than anything. Gogeta has, especially Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta has always had the more grayish tint. It does look green because of the picture, but that's probably the lighting itself. Yeah, I guess. The C version for the Super Saiyan head sculpts, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Gogeta himself. Let me know what you guys think about this figure. Are you excited for him? Because I for sure am. I'm very ecstatic. I am going to have this guy in the front of my collection the moment he actually releases. And they're going to be my first TonserArt toys, and it makes sense for them to just be Gogeta. I was not a fan of the Kid Buu when he released, especially with the two different versions and then the amount of QC issues that they had. So I'm very curious if this one is going to have any QC issues when they actually arrive. But from what I heard from Trunks, he was really good. But that's pretty much all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Anything that you want to comment down below, do comment and like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. But besides that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.